Well, good morning. This is Marion Douglas again, and as many of you know, I am a life coach and entrepreneur. And I left off with a story of some tragedy that happened in my life, and my intention in telling this story is to have you see some of the lessons that I learned that made it possible for me to live the life that I'm living today. Part of that, my intention here is that you get to see that no matter what happens in your life or where you're at, that number one, you can rise up out of that if you're clear about what your goals are and you believe in what it is that is possible for you. The other thing is that there are a lot of beliefs that we have that we've been conditioned with, and those beliefs in many ways, in my experience, are standing between us and having some significant goals turn out in our lives. One of the things that happened this past weekend, when I issued a challenge to many of you that you took to sit down for a minute and get some clarity about what it is that really is close to your heart, that you would love to do even if they didn't pay you. And a young man wrote me back, and he was just absolutely adamant that there was no way possible for anybody to live a life like that. And so the only reason why it's impossible for him and for many people like that is because they believe that it's impossible. They've been conditioned with a set of beliefs that they're so adamantly committed to that no one can tell them anything or show them anything that would have them believe otherwise. So I'd like to tell you that this story that happened with Joy and I ended in a big, huge victory and happiness and all that kind of stuff. It didn't. Ultimately, what happened was that Joy went to the hospital and she had the surgery. And that first surgery was a C-section where they took our youngest son. And then there was some time of recovery there. And then she went back to the hospital and she had the brain surgery for her aneurysm. Now, she lived through that, and we thought everything was going to be fine. But after that, she developed hepatitis C from a blood transfusion they gave her in the hospital, and then she developed many, many other complications after that. Ultimately, she ended up with Lou Gehrig's disease, and her muscles started to deteriorate from the inside. And her health slowly declined, and one day she took her last breath. And with her last breath, she made a request of me, and that was to take care of the children. Now, you find out a lot of things when people are taking their last breath. And one of them is that there's an illusion that time is money. And I can tell you that in a situation like that, there's no such reality as time is money. Time is infinitely more important than money. And if you don't believe that, try buying back 1 minute in a situation like that. There's no way, and all the money in the world could not have bought me another second with her. And so that's how I knew that. And so there I was with 2 small girls and a baby. I was as ignorant a man as a man could be. I knew nothing about babies. I wasn't there to raise the girls because I was working. And I had no clue what I was going to do next. But I knew that I wasn't going to leave the children. That I understood. And so I had to take a really hard look at my career, because my career ate up a lot of time. And it was time away from the children. And the one thing that I was certain about was that I wasn't going to let strangers raise my children. So the whole lesson of that is that my situation dictated that I make some decisions that were contrary to everything that I had believed up until that point about career and making money and the way that that was supposed to happen. The situation dictated that I do something completely different than what I thought my life would ever look like. or that anybody had told me was what was going to work. So I decided in that moment, it's time to go into business for yourself. There was no way for me to continue to do what I was doing and take care of the children in the situation that I was in. So, in keeping with my promise and in support of my children, in that situation, I declared that I was an entrepreneur. And that is the space that I went into business from. So, right now I'm going to sign off. That is what happened. The next couple of videos, I'm going to tell you exactly how it is that business developed, how I found out what it was that I was good at, and how I turned that talent into income for a lifetime.